I'm Darcy D, and I'd like to personally welcome you to the Virtual Voice Coach Method. Whether you're just beginning your singing journey or you've been singing for years, I'm glad you're here. Over the years, I've worked with hundreds of singers who all wanted the same thing: to sing with more freedom, more confidence, and more consistency. Yet so many shared the very same frustrations. Why isn't my voice improving? Why does one exercise seem to help while another makes my voice feel worse? Am I even practicing the right things? The answer usually isn't talent, it's direction. Most singers don't need to practice more, they need to practice with purpose. Because without a roadmap, even the hardest working singer can spend years going in circles. That's one of the reasons why I created the Virtual Voice Coach Method. Not as another collection of vocal exercises, but as a structured learning system that helps you understand your voice, discover what it needs, and develop it with confidence. Today, I'd like to show you how that all fits together. Before I ever coached my first singer, I had spent years making my living on stage. For me, it started in the 80s as the singer for Simon Chaos. I learned what it meant to be a professional singer, performing 3 sets a night, 6 nights a week, sometimes 50 weeks per year. Night after night, I discovered what it really takes to keep a voice healthy, reliable, and consistent. Later, I had the privilege of spending 17 years as the lead singer of Juno Award-winning Canadian band Prism. Together, we toured extensively, celebrated gold record success, and I was later honored with recognition on Canada's Walk of Fame for my contribution to Canadian music as a member of Prism. You might think that after all those years, I'd have singing figured out. The truth is, I didn't. I knew how to sing, my voice did what I wanted it to, for the most part, but I still wanted to understand why the voice worked the way it did. That curiosity led me into the world of vocal pedagogy. I began studying speech-level singing, one of the pioneering contemporary vocal training methods that fundamentally shaped my understanding of vocal coordination. But I wasn't finished learning. I wanted to continue studying with leaders in vocal health, voice science, and contemporary pedagogy. That journey led me to Vocology in Practice, an international community of elite voice professionals that includes singing teachers, vocal coaches, speech-language practitioners, ENTs, laryngologists, researchers, producers, and music industry professionals, all committed to advancing the science, health, and training of today's contemporary voice. Through VIP, I continued my professional development, learned from some of the world's leading voice experts, and eventually had the privilege of serving on its board of directors. Along the way, I was also honored to serve as a Juno Awards juror, evaluating some of Canada's finest musical talent. As my coaching career grew, I had the privilege of working with singers who have gone on to perform on Broadway in Dear Evan Hansen, compete on American Idol and Canadian Idol, and build successful recording careers of their own, some earning gold and platinum records along the way. Every stage, every lesson, every student, every success, and every challenge taught me something about the voice. Eventually, I realized something. The problem wasn't that singers lacked information. The problem was that they lacked a roadmap. So I built one. The Virtual Voice Coach Method brings together everything I've learned from decades of professional performance, years of coaching singers at every level, and ongoing study in contemporary vocal pedagogy and voice science. My goal isn't simply to teach you vocal exercises. My goal is to help you understand your voice. One of the biggest mistakes singers make is treating every vocal exercise as if it's designed for every voice. It isn't. Every exercise has a purpose. Some exercises build coordination. Others reinforce habits that may be holding you back. Without understanding why you're doing an exercise, progress becomes guesswork. The answer is the correct exercises at the right time for your voice. If you're finding this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps me reach more singers and continue creating educational content like this. Let me show you the roadmap. When you first open the app, this is where your journey begins. Notice something. This isn't a giant library of random vocal exercises. Everything has a purpose, everything has a place, and every lesson prepares you for the next. You begin with how the voice works. Understanding your voice. Because before you can train your voice, you need to understand the instrument you're singing with. And in this module, you'll gain understanding of the concentrations you have total control over and why it's important. I explain all the concentrations here. We go into breath. We go into the vocal folds. We go into the larynx, what it is, where it is, why it is. And then we talk about vowels. It's all in here. There's even charts you can download. I like to talk about the anti-vowels, the consonants, and their purpose, their role in building your voice. Next, we go into vocal registers. Here, you'll learn how chest voice and head voice work together and why vocal transitions occur. So I introduce all the vocal registers. There's some in-depth videos on what they are and why they are. And we can talk about shaping your vocal registers here. And then there's continued learning here with some bonus content. This is constantly being updated, by the way. From there, we go into voice types. I'm talking about identifying your voice type. This is where you'll begin recognizing common vocal tends tos and understanding how different voices respond to different exercises. So this is also quite in depth. Here we talk about the transition for every voice type. So where you may feel the most challenge in your coordination, going from chest voice to head voice. Then and only then do we move into voice analysis. And I have a voice analysis for both male and female voices. By this point, you'll have enough understanding to make sense of the results. And once you've identified your current vocal tendency, that's when your personalized workouts begin. No more guessing. And in here, I'll just step into the male voices. This is where we discover your voice type, and I explain in detail what they are. And then I break down each voice type again. So if you know what voice type you are, this is where you can go. There is a scale that you do for each voice type that you play, you sing to, and it helps you determine what your tendency is. Once you've identified your current vocal tendency, that's where your personal workouts begin. No more guessing, no more random exercises, just targeted, structured training designed specifically for your voice type. I'd like to interject with an important lesson I've learned over the years. Learn the exercise before expecting the exercise to change your voice. Every exercise teaches a coordination. Sometimes the coordination feels unfamiliar. That's perfectly normal. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Let the exercise teach your voice. If the exercise feels difficult, you'll find additional help inside the Deep Practice and Vocal Toolbox modules. Inside the Vocal Toolbox module, you'll see we have the Select a Size area where you can pick all of the exercises. You just go for the one you want and scroll down to that number, find the exercise, push play, learn the exercise. You can slow it down, you can rewind, you can fast forward, so you can digest each and every note. Very important. I'd like to add that in the toolbox we have a section on intervals, the distance between each note. So I've set this up for every voice type in the interval training. We've got for altos, we've got the 1-3, we've got altos 1-5. It's all explained in there so you know why and what this is. And then the 1-3-5, the basic structure of a simple chord. And then for the sopranos, the same thing. It's all designed to digest each and every note. This particular one, I really like the 5-tone scales. We have it at different speeds. It dissects the 5-tone scale so you can memorize each and every note of the scale. In the 5-tone coordination series, this takes it to another level. Then, of course, we have major scales. Very useful tools within the app. And then within each, for female voice workouts, we've got all the tens, twos, and we've got vibrato and deep practice. And deep practice is where we dissect, just like in the vocal toolbox. So there's so many things in here that are quite useful. Another thing I want to point out is before you exercise or before you sing, before you use your voice, this part of the app, the voice warm-ups, has a plethora of exercises and little routines that you can do that in itself can become a routine, an exercise routine that builds and balances your voice. It's designed to not go too high because when we warm up the voice, we don't need to go very high. We just need to warm it up. There is the how and why of it in this video. Then we've got the stretching exercises. And the video walks you through each and every one of these stretches. We've got breathing. These are breathing exercises that I've used over the years that I find very effective. And there is, within each one of these, I demonstrate how to do it, and then you can do it on your own. And then when you're ready, you go into the female section if you're a female voice. And there's all of these scales to warm up your voice. There's the demonstration. There's the scale with the piano so you can see the notes, and then there's the audio track. Again, each of these can be sped up, slowed down. You can fast forward, rewind, and it makes it very useful. And I have the same thing for the male voices. And keep in mind, all of the tools in the app you can do wherever you are from your phone. You can also you can open the Virtual Voice Coach app on your computer. You just type in virtualvoicecoach.passion.io and it will open up on a browser, on your computer, on a tablet. Very effective. Remember, you don't master singing by completing workouts. You master singing by developing your coordination, by repeating the workout, by perfecting the workout note by note. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering where to begin, I invite you to book a free 15-minute voice assessment. Together, we'll identify your current vocal tendency, answer your questions, and help you understand the best next step for your voice. If you'd like to continue learning on your own schedule, you can also download the Virtual Voice Coach app, where you'll find the structured lessons, personalized workouts, deep practice resources, and an ever-growing library of webinars, of which you're watching now. If you're already inside the app, your next step is simple. Continue to the next module, because every section builds on the one before it. You know, throughout my own training, one phrase has stayed with me. Learning to sing is simply complicated. The more I studied, the more I realized how true those words really are. The voice is an incredibly sophisticated instrument. My goal wasn't to make singing simple. My goal was to make learning uncomplicated. That's why I created the Virtual Voice Coach method. A clear roadmap, a proven process, the right information at the right time in the right order. Follow the roadmap, trust the process, develop the coordination, one session at a time, one breakthrough at a time. Until one day, you stop wondering what to practice, you understand your voice, you trust your voice, and finally,